Happy Good Friday.
Buddy, I'm recording straight away because you're such a... Hold on 1 second. Let me get a better view of both of us. What is happening, my good friend? Man, it's been a long time.
Long time, but good time.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm going to go to... get rid of this. There you go. Hold on 1 second. I'm recording this section, so I want to make sure.
Cool. So we're not live.
We're live because you're kind of on the spot. I'm not. There's no editing here, so we're just going to go with the free flow. Because
that's the way.
I want to get transparency. I really want to get sincerity. And the reason I really thoroughly enjoy you, because I was thinking, Sascha, I want to interview somebody that is inspirational. And as long as I've known you, and this it's almost like it's about not 2 decades, about 15 years, because when I was in South Africa in 2010, that's when I first met you. You were running the competition down there in Plettenberg Bay.
Yeah.
Remember that tight wave, that crazy tight wave, like right on the beach?
Amazing.
We just crashed on the beach.
The Colosseum.
and
that is amazing.
You have evolved, but what I also like about you, Sascha, is you're very purposeful. And then I started seeing that you're now going to the beach, like let's call it the street, right? And you're now coaching and mentoring the youth of South Africa, which I got to commend you is a lot, because a lot of us have left South Africa because it's a hard place to stomach, and yet you've prevailed and you're not giving back. I've gone kind of out of the surf and skating into the business world, and that's all I live for today. Yet there's amazing guys like you that are kiff, the radicals that are authentic. You kind of homegrown. You're born, you're bred, you're there, and also your culture. The north side of Durban it's been a huge part of a lot of South Africans' lives because of the scene. When I was a youngster, we'd always come there for vacation and go to the Gunson 500. I remember, that was a huge hit. I used to even work down on the beach sometimes. This is back in my entrepreneur days, selling, like panchos and stuff. And then I came back, came to America in 94, and then came back to South Africa to, kind of work some of the industry there in retail. But enough about me. Let's talk about you, Sascha.
Yeah, I think, the main thing is I think the drive is all the same. So the thing that drives you is the thing that drives me. And that's it's the unknown. It's that, why don't I know how everything is working and how it's all put together? And it's like we drive ourselves to get to that unknown because we want to help everyone get to a kind of level that we're at. And it might be in bodyboarding, it might be in business, it might be in real estate, it might just be in motivating people, it might be in talking to people, it might be writing books, it might be just telling stories. There's something about the rapport people can build. I was talking to a friend last night about we're able to build rapport without trying. It's the common empathy that we have together just because you're human and God loves you. So that means I love you. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you've done. You could be the worst person in the world. God still loves you. So I got to find a way to love you. Doesn't mean I'm going to like hug you and be like your best bud, but there's something in you I got to love. And that's the only thing I need to find. And for me, that's great. And I think that drives us to find rapport with people. And then we find common ground, and all of a sudden we find we're not so different. And I think my mom taught me that there's two types of people in the world. There's givers and there's takers. Right. The takers will always feel like they need, but the givers get from giving. You know what I mean? So we receive an unknown. Yeah, it's an unknown thing that we pay it into the system. We pay it into the source. Like Mr. Dyer says that the sorcerers tap into the source. We're not wizards and witches and stuff. You silence your mind, you be still and know that he is God. So the stilling of your mind, and that's what we're going through right now. It's the slowing down. It's the process of
Right.
how do you evolve in this cocoon? We're all going into this weird cocoon.
Right.
And you can choose how you come out. You can be a little worm, or you could be the biggest butterfly, or you can actually evolve now more than ever, because this is a
I believe
reset.
that. I believe that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I believe that. Yeah.
And for me, I was also spoke to another friend, Hinkus Lopesha, and I said to him, it's the year of 2020 vision. It's a year that we see clarity and we understand our true essence, and we understand that in 10 years' time, we answer for what we did today.
Yeah.
So there's a more of a responsibility of our generations, the three generations that get squeezed into this, so many different ages and revolutions and industrial revolution, technical revolution, this, that, different types of ways, different writers, different people coming in, different influences. Now we have influences. It's like, before, when we grew up, it was like, be careful who you get influenced by. Now the kids of today, it's like, who influences you? So the parents ask instead of telling. So that's what we've also got to take back. So there's a few things that are going on. There's a lot of work going on, which, what work are we doing? And that's the thing. Sometimes the money comes later. It's about putting you where you need to be and understanding that the goodness will always prevail. Your passion will always drive you when you have nothing and you still want to just paddle out, and you still want to, like, one time I caught a plane to Plettenberg Bay. Okay. So we had to judge, it was tough times. You know, I've never been paid as a professional bodyboarder, but we did
Right.
it because we were driven to do it, because we knew generations would come later. And look at what we have now. We have 4 world champions from South Africa: Andre Botha, then Ian Campbell, then Chad Houston, and now Tristan Roberts. That's like,
When Tristan won that, I mean, it's almost like going back to my childhood, coming to Durban. Sean Thompson, you know, and I just remember back then. I mean, those guys were idols in a sense. I remember, you know, if you knew Sean Thompson was on the beach, I mean, it was like wildfire. The news spread. As kids would run down to the beach just to get a glimpse of him. And he was such an epic human being. He was so nice, real genuine, and then it's just interesting. And then I see Tristan winning the cup last year, and there's all this big news about South Africa and bodyboarding. Such a small little country has such a big impact, because I believe there's these pioneers in South Africa. You've got to make it happen. You've got to make a plan. If you don't, it's not like in America where Sascha, we're very blessed here. This is the last best place left. So we have a lot going for us, a lot. We've got a lot of support, lots of benefits, lots of opportunity, lots of abundance. I mean, the cars are big, the homes are big, the people are big. Everything's like bigger. The freeways are big, the cities are big. It's well managed and maintained.
but are the spiritual aspects, are your spirit big? Is the drive, is the need to rely on God big? So that's what we always got to remember. The bigger the picture, the bigger the rock. So the bigger the rock, the more easy we can just like think of little lizards lying on a rock. If there's a big rock, we can all spread out and not be like, we can find shady little areas. But if there's one small rock, who is our rock, and we stand on this rock, and it's like, if it's, no matter how big a benefit or anything is, there's another degree of it. So in this time, to understand how to have nothing is the best thing possible. So now is a time where, like, Cordone says, work for free if you have to. Go out and just get a job. Do whatever you have to do. Whatever now is a picture. Sacrifice it's a small sacrifice now for the big picture later. And there's no giving into the easy. Find a way, adapt, be in this cocoon, but find ways. get
Right.
online, find your different aspect, find a niche that you're good at. Start teaching people what you're good at. Get you whatever. If you're a good welder, start a little welding course. Teach people how to weld for free.
Right.
What's going to happen? You're going to get views. People might want to advertise. There's all different aspects of where we can go in this and how we can use our own intelligence. The stuff that no one's really taught us that we just have inside that drives us to go and feed our kids every day. And that's the
Right.
main thing. We have to answer. I have to answer to my 5-year-old in 10 years' time of what I did today. And that drives me. That goes like, whew, I can't just sit here and relax and go make another cup of coffee. I gotta look, make sure my dad's good.
Is she 5, Sasha? Is she 5?
5 years old.
Just I remember you just having her. Jeez, that's crazy.
Time
Time has
flies.
flown, hey, Brad. It's been 9 years, 8 years.
It's been this like we've understood what's going on. It's almost like we've been. It's like the rope is being tied. We've watched it being tied, and we've gone like, no, that can't be happening. Like, no. And all of a sudden, it just went forth, and all the little crumbs were put there. And if you can put the pieces together and find ways to see the next step, and to read the books, to find little things and to understand industry right now more than anything. I think that's the most important thing. Like Donald Trump's a real estate guy. You are the best thing.
I'm the biggest fan of Donald Trump. I think the guy's a legend.
And,
I'm so glad we have a businessman running the country instead of a politician, you know?
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that I'm not an American, so I have an outsider's view. And for me, I just see little things that he does that does help. There's so many different views, and that's a whole different story. But with regards to us in the future here, I think it's we Africans, we're resilient. We know how to really get through something, and if anything, this will drive us as a community to get unity. So it'll drive us to be a community. So I'm trying to like make all the like my building. I'm trying to drive let's grow food. Each different floor grow a different. Hey, one floor grows tomatoes, next floor grows potatoes, next one cabbage, whatever we can eat and drive and sustain us and just be a nice building. And then we got to be nice to your neighbor, because now he's growing your food. So you don't want to be a prick to him, because then he's going to be like, well, here's the crap, here's the cut food. Right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we've got to all get together now. It's a time of understanding how your money works and how it's going to work for you more than any time else. And understand that we don't work for money, that the money is this tool that we have to actually understand. And no matter how much knowledge I've used or known and put into my head, now is the time to be practical. Because you can read as many books as you want, but if you don't implement it, if there's no self-discipline and self-control, which now is the most important thing that we have.
That's true, self-control, yeah. So it's like self-mastery. It's part of the grooming process. Sascha, what made you, I mean, you've had excellent track record in bodyboarding. You're a local, and I know what Durban locals are like. They're hardcore, like die hard. I remember that track, because I used to come skateboard down and skate against your local boys. And man, I mean, if you weren't respected, you were in trouble. The Durban boys were not to be toyed with. And they were hardcore, man. They weren't scared to throw a punch. I'm talking back, you know, I'm in my 40s now, you know, so Sascha. Yeah. But the thing is, you learn to respect the Durban boys. And I was a Varley.
Yeah, it's KwaZulu-Natal, I think, you know what I mean?
It's that's KwaZulu-Natal. I love it. Zulus.
This is where we grew up. And Zulus are probably the most intelligent people that we actually, I think history was rewritten in a way that helped people get to what they needed to be. And the deeper we dig, the more we see that Africans were probably like way more civilized and intelligent than we actually thought. And the history needs to be looked at again. Like the last historian of African culture died last 2 weeks ago, Baba Mutwa. And he was, and when you look at his stories and how like he says that, you know what, maybe the guys didn't come, like the Zulus were very peaceful. They just wanted to farm and cruise and do their thing. there's always going to be trouble, war, and all of that. But it was all relevant. It wasn't like there was no running and savaging and running off the woman and raping. There was none of that. It was like it was just normal. It was like everyone farming. And if you look at the topographs and how the African map, you'll see ancient farmlands and irrigations and maps, and it's insane. It's like you go like, where?
We used to climb all over those walls, like ancient walls of brick. I mean, we knew there was a wall, but it was kind of like hidden within the landscape.
And it's grown over. And then it'll be like, it's almost like it was built on top of. And there's a lot of questions to be answered. And I think as we get into this year, people will be digging deeper and questioning most of the things they've been told and just not really taking it for face value. And I think there's fake news and there's normal news and there's all this news, but inside of you, there's a path that you know how to follow. Exactly. And that's your passion. And when you back it up, like Zig Ziglar says, all in the three forms, spiritually, physically, and mentally, you'll get to where you need to be. If it's in the word, test the word, he says. You know, test what he says. You give it a go, and you'll see.
You can't just go to church and the guy on the pedestal there is talking to you about it. You know your content. Sascha, what made you get into coaching? Because you know you've won many competitions. You're a staple diet part of the Durban scene when it comes to the surf scene, that is, and bodyboarding, and you're known all around South Africa. And I know you've been to other places in the world bodyboarding. What made you get
into coaching? Like the thought of dying with all this knowledge in your head and not giving it away, that's what keeps me up at night.
Do you think the kids are going to benefit? Do you think the youth is going to benefit from your maturity?
It's the confidence you learn in water. You overcome a fear of you paddling on water in the middle of the ocean. There's sharks swimming around you. You don't know what's underneath you. You don't know what can happen. You don't know how you're actually going to get through the wave. Sometimes it's really big. You don't know how many waves. It's like you learn faith in it. Like for me, it's where I talk to God. It's where there's no filter. It's where it's just me and him. So it's like if I can teach kids how to ride waves and find a connection with the ocean, if they find God through that, they find God through it. It's not for me to help. They find God, kids find God their own way. And the more inherent, like it's in you and you can just give it to them like that, then they understand that God is just there. You don't have to tell them. And that's the main thing, is understanding his presence. Because every day when you're a kid, like I say to my child, because of you, you're one of a kind, you're a masterpiece, and you're an amazing person. So I say that after Charlotte's storm, every single night she stays with me and she understands it and it's programmed. I say to her, tomorrow when I see you, you'll be more beautiful. So when she goes to sleep, she has this thought. So she has this thought of, well, I'm going to sleep now. I'm going to rest. And when I wake up, I'm just, I just feed her with this, just little pieces. And the little crumbs that you gave with your son, it's just, he is a masterpiece and he's one of a kind.
Every single day, when I drive my kids to school and at night, I tell my kids, I say, because I have 5 boys, I say, son, be a leader, not a follower. Be a lender, not a borrower. Every single day. So if I'm talking for 20 years of my 20-year-old, I have a 20-year-old, Sascha. Yeah. And they all know Dad says, be a leader, not a follower, be a lender, not a borrower. Again, but every day, like you, Sascha, my sons have been probably prayed over thousands of times, but not only that, they've been called every epic name under the sun on a daily basis, from legend to brilliant to intellectual to you're genius to you're gifted, you're valuable, you're mighty, you're a rock star. I mean, here's the sad thing. Now that's to my kids. So they don't have an ego. My kids are gentlemen, thank God, because of their mother. I'm kind of on
empathy. It's just amazing, yeah. And you can feel it that they've given and their receiving is just thanks. And we don't have to acknowledge it. Sometimes we get a little weird, like trying to acknowledge it when people expect us to acknowledge the greatness in us, because he that is within us is greater than he that is in the world. So and we like that.
And
Yeah.
we can do greater things, Sascha. We can do greater things. Sascha,
Yeah.
have you ever thought, being out of South Africa I left in 94, just 28 years, 27 years.
Oh.
27 years, jeepers. Sascha, for you, and I'm only asking because I'm an expat, you know what I mean? You're such a local. Has it ever dawned on you to go to Hawaii, like Andre Buerta and these guys that, or you seem so content? Is it because your child is there, your daughter's there, or?
Oh, I've got one
We
more
have Sean
continent to
Thompson living
touch
up
in
in
my.
Santa Barbara. We have a lot of local South Africans here in Southern California.
Oh, I think there's a purpose for me here, and there's a reason. There's a reason I've stayed in one place my whole life. I've traveled the world, like working for Royal Caribbean. That was amazing. I got chosen. So after my bodyboarding, after you left, I then went. I was a world tour judge. So I was traveling around the world judging. And then Wave House opened up, the biggest wave in the world. And we were like all the boogies and surfers were just said, and the skaters were all put together. So we were put together in a park environment that we got to influence the next generation of adventure riders.
Yeah.
So I call like board riders. Like we the board riders and the X Games generation, we pushed understanding and we pushed possibilities more than any other generation. We pushed to the extreme what we could. We pushed our bodies to the limits. Guys jump out of planes in bodysuits. You know what I mean? Like, tell me 30 years ago, guys were going to do that. They jumped from like some stratosphere or something. You know what I mean? Like, guys push themselves just because there's this drive that says, what is this unknown? And that's the beauty of life. And we don't have to unknown. Like sometimes I ask God, why don't I know? And he says, well, do you want my responsibility? And I'm like, it's cool. I'm thanks. That's fine. I'll rather just be human. You know what I mean? But try to always be better. But to know is having the responsibility. And you have to have take it. If you ask for it, you'll get it. But remember, the responsibility lies on you then. He's like a pastor. He pastors a church.
Right.
Those people under his church, he answers for.
Absolutely does. I do believe that judged differently. So my wife, we're having this coronavirus pandemic around the world, and we're shut down. I've literally been in my house for like over 3 weeks now. And the one time I did leave, I got sick. I came back, I got sick. So I'm just staying home. I'm quarantined, I'm staying home. Where I'm going with this is, a little while ago, let's say several weeks ago, we had like an issue with one of our children, and my wife was saying to me that, she was talking to God, and she said to God, I would have a hard time, I would die for my son. If anything happened, I'd die for him.
Yeah.
And the God's response was, he already did. So his son already died. We don't have to die for. So it was just strange. Like we're saying, we're struggling with our children being sick and going through hard times, and we're like, God, I'll do anything. I'll even die for my son. And God's like, you don't have to. He already did it. It's like you can't beat that. It's he's beat you in every way. It's really everything's pre-planned for victory. So I don't want to take this too on the faith base.
Be still and know that I am God.
Exactly.
I love it.
I don't make this too faith-based because I'm really trying to get to know you and your coaching abilities and where you're going. However, faith is very important because that's our daily. You're going up or down at the end of the day. So Sascha, let's go back to bodyboarding. What makes these South Africans so unique that they there's all these other countries, but yet there's this little country that sometimes spawns
When you talk about
human beings. Look at Tristan.
Well, you talk about Sean.
Andre.
Yeah, Andre is amazing. Tristan's amazing.
Wow.
Ian's amazing. All different generations. It's just like so. Sean Thompson influenced the bodyboarders more than anyone actually knows. He was the man that sponsored a group of 4 bodyboarders: Billy Thiel, Paul Sartorius, Gordon Cockle, and Douglas.
I know Gordon. I know the name Gordon. Yeah. Sorry, and who else?
and Douglas Cockle. That's the twin
Okay.
brothers,
Okay.
Billy Thiel and Paul Sartorius.
But you beat one of the brothers. You beat the or didn't you come tie or you did a competition?
No, they're my older. They're the older guys, so they're like the generation above me. So
Okay.
they influenced me more than anyone, and Billy probably more than anyone. And they actually put a post of Sean Thompson thanking him yesterday, and it's weird,
Wow.
like they say, coincidence. Yeah.
Wow.
So we used to call it the Nosmot team because everything in South Beach we used to say backwards. So Thompson was Nosmot for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. Just
Wow, that's great.
yeah. So yeah, the guys, but he helped the guys and spoke to them in business sense and not only groomed them as bodyboarders, but set them up as business people. So
Right.
understanding that what they're doing is not just taking free clothing and looking cool on the beach. There's a priority to it. There's a carrier to it. Thompson was influencing before influencers knew what influencing was.
Wow.
He was like Sean Thompson is a pioneer. Like you read his books, you think about the aspects of it. Just paddle out again. I think about that all the time. Like life
Paddle out again.
hits you.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
Just paddle out again. You know what I mean? And for me, it's like the better the wave. Well, now that the guys ride slabs, the paddle outs aren't so hard. But in the old days, the paddle outs were hard, and the harder the paddle, the better the waves. So, and the more aspect, and the better you're gonna feel about getting to that wave. So, yes, sometimes it's nice to just jump off into a nice reef that has no paddle out, and you can get barreled and get hair dry going. But sometimes it's nice to really get slammed and know that you're very insignificant to this big wave. And you've got to be humble. You've got to push under that wave, knowing that somehow you're going to come up, knowing that you're going to go like pinball and it's going to roll you, it's going to strip you over, it's going to do whatever it wants to do. But you're in the hands of the ocean, but you have faith to drive you through. So if we can teach kids that you're going to make it through the other side of the wave and they go, how? And you go, I don't know how, but you're going to make it through. It's not for me to know how you're going to get through because under the water, every time it's different.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. Hey, yeah.
I can't tell them to do this every time. It's not jumping in a pool. It's like, go into the unknown and have faith that you're going to come out the other side and you're going to be fine. It's like taking off on those big waves. Anything can happen. One angle of your board that's wrong, you're going to nosedive. These guys are taking off. If you look at Tristan's last post on Instagram, flip. It's milliseconds from nosediving, but he scoops it with confidence and he's on the other side of a rock at tons. And it's such a deep barrel and he comes out and I got goosebumps, but it's amazing. These kids drive and they focus and they're tapping into the unknown and driving it to there. And
that inner soul.
Where your mental comprehension can't tell you, okay, cool, well, let me explain to you how to take off on a 15-foot wave, each different angle. Like a computer might be able to, like, I don't even know if a computer could actually break it down because the variables are changing every single time.
Right, exactly.
So it's the angle of the wave, how much water came, how big is the wave, where did you take off, how did you take off, how much speed did you have, what angle, so it's like, and everything just comes together.
So Sascha, are we becoming more intellectual? Are we becoming more intellectual in our purpose in life, or more driven, or more conscious of our inner source, our inner being?
I think we're more,
because people today are doing extreme
accountable.
Things.
I think we're more accountable.
That's true. Oh yeah.
So the accountability is making you realize what you're actually doing. So now, more of the time than any time now, you're accountable to yourself. There's no boss telling you, hey, did you do that? He gives you a call later and says, hey, is it done? So it's up to you. So it's like,
yeah. Sascha, one thing about you is your style. So I think of you as a stylist. You kind of, even when I met you in person, you always had this funky kind of style of clothing and fashion and your trend and the way you spoke and how people liked you. And, you know, the glasses you wore, you're kind of different, which is cool because you weren't that, you know, you weren't the beach guy that like what we saw at the beach bums, you know what I mean? The beach rats, whatever he's calling back in the Durban guys. And I remember you always had this kind of edge to you, a little bit edgy, almost like the edge in U2, you know, in the band U2.
Yeah.
But that's how I think he's a stylist. You're a trendsetter. You've got some flavor about you. So not only have you matured in your age, you've still kept that uniqueness. A lot of us, like myself, I went from being a skater brat, you know, a hardcore, in your face kind of guy, to now it's pure business. I'm here to build a kingdom.
Yeah.
I'm here to leave a legacy for my family on another level, in a sense, financially and institutionally. Yeah. So even though I resented the status quo, I kind of found myself drawn to it. I don't want to, because I believe in sustainability, like what you're doing there with
your niche. You find your niche, and that's it. If you like it, if it drives you, if you wake up and you want to do it, do it. It's not about what John or Peter thinks down the road, or Sally or Anne. It's about what you feel. It's about how you go to bed at night. Because at the end of the day, that's what's driving you and what's making you happy.
Right, I think
that's the best.
I remember going surfing. It would take me 3 hours. You know, you don't just go surfing. You don't just go bodyboarding.
No.
It's like an endeavor every day. It's not just 15 minutes to the beach. You're there catching a couple waves. You come back. It is, you know, you're 2-3 hours minimum. It's like going to gym, in a sense, give or take. So I thought to myself, because I kind of did a time blocking. Well, I can focus on adding that extra 3 hours to my business, or I can carry on enjoying life. But if I want to get there, not faster, but if I want to kind of build a legacy of my business plan that I had, and I put together a 100-year business plan, Sascha. That's 3 hours a day, give or take.
Small sacrifice now, big picture later. So
absolutely. And
those
now,
3
Sascha,
hours end up to be 100 hours. Yeah. So it's now means more, because time is more valuable now than it is going to be then. Because I think we're sitting in the future, kind of. I think we're sitting in the future reality where this is a little taste of like the incubation and just how we are, and it just sucks that we can't go surf. Like I see the ocean every day. Like today is so good. The waves are like 3-4 feet looking.
So Sascha,
but you know what?
Yeah.
So many people are. Yeah. So many people are going to now surf every single day, so that they're really going to appreciate it more. So it's always, you only know what you have until it's gone. So we're realizing that more than any time. And now we have to deal with each other and deal with ourselves. This is a self-cleansing and self-healing. Learn, listen to good people, find out financial people that you need to follow, find out healthy people. So 3 aspects you need to secure: spiritual, health, physical, and financial. Just do those and focus on those. And you don't have to worry about work right now. So now's the time where you can get online, learn. There's no, if you're not working, South Africa is we've just been extended by 2 weeks. So we're on a 5-week lockdown. We're just
21 days and another 2 weeks after the 21 days.
Another 2 weeks. But it's okay. It's cool. It's how we look at it. We're South African. How many people are unemployed at the moment anyway? That's my aspect. So it's like, how much is the economy losing, and how much money are people saving now by not buying the little snacks at McDonald's, buying the junk food, buying all the little bits, is essential items. But people are realizing, grow food, not lawn. Plant some seeds.
I'm bringing my own kombucha. I'm brewing. I brew. I should show you. I've got. Tonight I was looking at my jars. I'm like, I've got too much kombucha.
One second. I got to show you. Let me just get back. Sorry, champ.
No.
Check that.
Yeah.
Inspirational, bro. There we go. There's my Scooby. So that's it. We're getting on it.
So you're looking at the continuous kombucha. I love it. This movement of sugar water to probiotic soda is just it's mind-boggling. It's changed my whole even my thought process session. Now that I eat better, I'm even making my own meals because I don't trust what I'm getting out there, but I do trust what I'm buying myself and manufacturing, cooking myself.
100%. If World War II ended, what did they make a decision? He who controls the food controls the world. So it was a decision made. It's fact. So, and that was said in wherever it was said. I don't know. I've heard that somewhere. But and that's the truth. And that made me go like, well, I need to know how to grow food. I need to teach Charlotte how to collect water, purify water, find energy source, and find solar. Teach her about solar because she's gonna want Wi-Fi. Hopefully, Wi-Fi is out there by then. The light emitting network, which is really weird, but all these things. But anyway, but yeah, and just feed yourself. So yeah, our fun is so grow food. That's the main thing.
Exactly,
Plant food now.
Sustainability. Oh, I agree with you.
Yeah, and plant some medicine too.
No, yeah, absolutely. I love that. Herbs and
I'm in the CBD industry. So
well done.
We've been helping people, doctors, people in the medical industry, phenomenal, suffering with arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis
I
for
take
years.
it for my anxiety. I take CBD for my anxiety. Yeah,
it's amazing, and
it changed me.
It's just a calming. It's phenomenal, and it's about, and that's also a question now. Like we're becoming, CBD makes you more conscious, way more than anything else. It's the conductor. So if you can see, like I can say, so the CBD comes into your body and starts conducting. So now we're more conscious of everything. Yeah. So we're more conscious of how we are to others, how we are to ourselves, and how we are seen by the world.
Amen.
So that's the trilogy again. So all these three things.
So, I'm gonna lose you. I'm gonna lose you, Sascha. So to end this, so we have to end this. So please forgive me, buddy. I want to carry on forever because I can talk to you forever. Sascha, cool. Give me the one takeaway with you being in quarantine in South Africa, you being a coach now in the lifestyle scene in Durban, because Durban's a lifestyle. Everything, the fashion, the beautiful people, the culture,
the togetherness,
all of that. What's the one thing you give me as a former South African, looking at you right now, where you are?
We're gonna be okay. We're gonna come out of this with flying colors. Like there's a reason why we're resilient. There's a reason why we're African. We're here.
Yeah.
It's just because we're scared. Yeah, we're very scared. We're not obnoxious to it. We don't think there's no virus. There's something out there. It's scary, but we learn now. We come together and we learn. What comes in more communities, we have to deal with each other. Unfortunately, there's a lot of domestic violence, but you know what?
That's just part of that's just what it is like in South Africa. So, Sascha,
maybe your next door neighbor will help you instead of just listening next time. It's a togetherness thing. And we're now accountable for everything we do for 10 years' time. So we're accountable to our children. So whatever does happen, we just got to make wise decisions. And for once, try and trust the right people. That's the most important. That's the hardest part.
Trust the right people. Two takeaways from me. We're really living in the future, which I love. That's the one thing, Sascha, that I love that you said. Okay. And, you know, so that's really, and then the statement you just said now, Sascha, that to me was just beautiful, where it's accountability, but there is a unity going on. There is something special going on that is bigger and beyond us. We have no control, in a sense of, forget the virus. That's something that's, you know, a whole nother.
It's inevitable. Yeah,
exactly.
It's and listen to Wim Hof. He's great. Like, do the breathing exercise. You should try that. I was like, there's no way I can hold my breath for a minute. I did one exercise yesterday on his live show. My dad and I did it together. We were so freaked out.
I love your dad. Your dad's great.
Oh yeah, he's watching the church service now. I've got
he's still strong,
the good Friday.
Sascha, I want to leave with this, Sascha.
Yes.
I think you need to start some kind of movement yourself. You've got a lot to share, and you've got a huge contribution. And I think I love that you're doing it in your community in Durban, but I think there's a global audience now. There's a universal audience. I think you need to I know you're coaching bodyboard, which I think is great, and that's a great purpose. But I think you need to bring that, be more live. Let us have more access to you. And now that we have these platforms on many levels of social media and websites, maybe you should look at trying to time block some time a day or a week to share your vision. It's very important because celebrities don't have the kind of pull that these YouTubers and social media guys are pulling. Now they're doing it, it's a little bit too late. People are getting more views on social media than they're getting on broadcast TV. I'm only watching this because I like to be at the forefront of the news. But this is just one chart. I look at Fox, I look at MSB, and you know.
And
So
you sift through it, and you find the truth because it
BBC,
all comes
absolutely. BBC is 90% and so forth. My friend, it's been great chatting to you, Sascha.
Awesome.
I did go to your Facebook, and what I like is your bodyboard coaching program. If they go to that Facebook page, you have a pop-up message that they can contact you and even book a. So anybody that's watching this video, such an amazing human being. He's unchangeable. From the day I met him back in 20 years ago, well, actually, it was actually like 10 years ago, to who he is today. The guy, you haven't changed, Sascha. That's what I love about you. Thank you for your time, buddy. And carry on doing what you're doing, because you're my number 3 interview. And I don't know why I chose you, but I wanted something special and different because I've got all the finance guys, I've got all the success guys, I've got all the CEOs and the financial guys. I'll show you myself. I've got over 3,500 contacts. But for some reason,
that was amazing.
To you because
because we just got the silent knowledge.
That's it. I love it. Hey, my friend, this is going to go live in about 24 hours. Thank you very much. I'll share it with you, Sascha. What can I call?
God bless you.
What can I call you? I kind of called you the stylist, but is it the radical bodyboard coach or
whatever you want?
The KIF bodyboard coach.
Just getting real with ST.
Yeah. So
getting real.
Would KIF be the right word? KIFF? Is that?
If you want, but remember KIF in Australia is like really bad weed.
Oh, that's correct. I love it. Hey, that might have been bad. Eh? I love it.
It'll be clickbait. I'll be like KIF. Okay.
So, Sascha, what's a Durban word? Like a Durban word for like cool or fresh or
laka or laka.
L-E-K-K-A.
Everyone uses L-U-K-K-A. Laka. Because the Indians,
nice.
The Indians, it's a twang on the Indians. Like imagine an Indian saying laka. It's laka. You know, laka, man. You're laka.
Oh, I love that.
Cool.
I love that. Sweet man, laka. Such a lucky to you, my friend.
100%. God bless you and your
family. We're gonna do this again. I want to do this again in the future, please.
Anytime, yeah. There's like I've got so much travel knowledge. In my travels I've met Sharky Fayed. Do you know Sharky Fayed? Businessman of the year for Canada. Oh, he built all those homes in Hamilton. So he's from Hamilton. He did that structure with and I taught him how to surf. He's a 7-year-old. When I was working on cruise ships, I said, Sharky, I'll get you to surf. And he said, there's no way. And I said, I promise you. And I met his kids are in Miami. They do real estate, corporate real estate. You should get hold of them. I'll link you guys up.
Please,
please. Sharky Fayed. Yeah, he's a really cool guy. He owns a group of,
You see,
but there's some weird people that I've met in my life. Like working for Royal Caribbean was, why did I go to America? I was under the impression that God had sent me there because there was going to be an earthquake in San Diego. That was my underground vision. I was like, please don't happen. I was just praying, please. I was like, I hope that doesn't happen. I was there. I went. It was the unknown. It was cool. 3 years traveling around the world.
I love it. Well done. You need to share more, Sascha. I think you're a lot much. Thank you for your time, buddy. We'll speak again very soon. I'll let you know when this is going live.
Boom.
Thank you,
Take
buddy.
It easy.
Cheers, man. Laka.
Laka.
Cheers, buddy.
Take it easy. Anytime.
Thank you, Sascha.
Wow.